Hello everybody and welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with what may be a final episode of our 4th Age Total War Rune campaign. So I have some good news and I have some bad news here. The bad news is this. Let's take a little look at the traits of any of our nobles, and you can see that these traits are all messed up. This is because of something that I did while updating the build. This is just clearly all wrong stuff here. We've got none of the normal stuff, and so I really fouled this up. This is the case for all of the generals that I have, as far as I can tell. This guy's definitely not an elf, and yet he has the elf trait, and so on. So this is, at this point, I don't know that I can recover sort of to go back to a previous point where the traits were good. Theoretically, I could keep playing here with these with the messed up traits, but it's obviously not ideal. So I don't think I'll be doing that. Now, I said I have good news and bad news here. So that was the bad news. The good news is the reason I'm updating is because we are working on 3.4. That is the newest version of the mod, 4th Age Total War Dominion of Men. And Weba84 has been doing some work with this and getting this ready to go. So we are making some great advancements. And in order for me to test things out and to make sure I've got the most up-to-date version, I updated, and that did apparently mess up my save game, which is from a previous build. So what does this mean for the future? Well, given that we are in the process now of getting 3.4 ready to be done, I'm probably not going to start another Let's Play until 3.4 is out the door and finished, just because we often update the build, as you might imagine, as we test things. So I don't want to start a new Let's Play, and get a few episodes in only to have to sort of update and break my save. And I probably should have thought of this going into my Rune campaign, but in any case, here's where we are. What I plan to do, perhaps going forward, is in order to sort of keep some stuff coming out here, is maybe rather than doing Let's Plays, I might do some shorter form, like single standalone videos for things like faction guides. So I may do like a little video for each faction in the mod and just give you some tips, introduce you to the units, maybe talk about some strategy, but not do a full Let's Play. So that's something I've been wanting to do. Another thing that I've got sort of in the pipeline is sort of these snapshot Let's Plays. So instead of playing an entire faction from turn 1 to turn 200, or however long it takes for you to finish, and showing you all of that stuff, what I might do is pick a faction, play it up to a point where things get really interesting, and then try to do something really fun. So an idea I had a while back was to play as Harad, but to assault Mithlond, the Grey Havens, which is way up here of the elves. And I've done this in the past, actually. I've played as Harad conquered Harondor and Far Harad and made them my protectorate, and then just raked in the cash, assembled these 3 or 4 big fleets full of units, assembled a bunch of land armies too, and marched them or sailed them north to have an epic fight against the elves and the Grey Havens. That would be not a full Let's Play because I wouldn't show everything, but it might be a fun thing for you to see. And it might do some other things like migration campaigns. We've got a few factions that can hoard. It might be fun to see what I can do with those. I do want to do Let's Plays for this mod going on into the future, but as I said, that may wait a little bit until 3.4 gets settled. Now, what about this campaign? As you can tell, the year 426 is, this is about 20 years, so that would be 40 turns since the last episode, which is, I guess, episode 36. I did record a bunch since then, but I just don't know if I have the heart to upload all of it. We'll see. Maybe I'll go back and do that. But what I wanted to do now is just a real quick video to kind of give you a sense of where we are now and what I've done pretty much since then. I think I had not taken this island yet, and so I did that. I took Hythe. That has helped my trade income. As you see, my economy is doing okay. It's not I'm not making a lot of money per turn, but I have acquired a certain amount of cash. In the north, we had North Rhun become a horde. They took Thordram from us. In fact, I may have shown you that. But they just sort of wandered into the west and petered off. Let me see if I can find the last remnants of North Rhun. I don't know where they went. I think they just wandered away, and they gradually got beat up by Dorwinion, who has emerged as pretty much the ruling power here, although they haven't yet moved on this rebel settlement. So I haven't moved on it either, and we're still allied with Dorwinion, but at war with basically everybody else in the map. In the west, we were at war with the Bjornings. But what I did, actually, you may see I've acquired some new territory down here. What I did is I took an army that had been hanging around Rovanos. I grabbed a bunch of mercenaries. It was this guy right here, Boar, who he did have the epithet the Great Conqueror, and he had conquered the White City. What he did is he marched south, and he beat a couple of reunited kingdom armies here along the slopes and took Minas Anor. And once I did that, I was able to sweep around and take all of these Nirn settlements, get Barad Eden, get all of these forts, get Minas Ithil. I did take Emin Arnin, but I let it rebel because I didn't want to be fighting Harad. As you can see, Harad has been building up these monstrous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks just hanging around, and so I've wanted to keep the Reunited Kingdom here so that I don't have to fight those things forever. And so that's pretty much where we're at. In the south, we've just continued the stalemate here. Akarn, it's kind of sad. We were very close to building tributary camps, which would allow us to make our horse archers of Khand. But we, haven't needed to do anything here. We're still at war with Khand, but they have not posed much of a threat. We've got a pretty good garrison here of horse archers that's able to hold them off. We've got a few foot archers and other assorted troops if we need them. But we're in a pretty good position here, and having the entire Nirn region has really allowed us to hold out. In the west, this has been more of an annoyance than anything else, but we've had the Bjornings. It's just been very difficult to get rid of them, partly because of the situation here where I'm really far from my production centers. So Breg Estelad it's just got such a low population, we're not able to train anything out of here. And we've had to scrape together some troops and send them against the Bjornings. There have been some pretty interesting battles here, but nothing has been decisive. And I think what I would end up doing would be to take this army, take out Rovanian's settlement here, and then maybe head up and try to deal with the Bjornings once and for all. But I think that at this point we're going to put a pause in the Rhun campaign. Thank you very much for watching. It's unfortunate that it has to go out on this note, but this does leave me with some time to do some shorter form things, and maybe I'll come back to this campaign later. One thing that Webb has suggested I might do is when 3.4 is finished, start up another Rhun campaign, and play to 50 turns in or whatever, and then start recording stuff so it doesn't show up, so that you don't have to watch it from the very beginning again. But anyway, I hope you'll continue to follow the channel. Like I said, I will be continuing with some other videos, and when 3.4 gets released, I hope you'll check that out. We've got some very exciting changes coming down the pike there, with some potentially new or different looking units, some of which you've seen before, and some different faction dispositions, some different diplomatic starting positions for some factions. So I think all of that is definitely worth watching. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and I will check you out in the next one. Bye-bye.